Head coaches are starting to be hired. And what does that mean for Miami? What is up, Finn fans? Yes, the dominoes are starting to fall. 2 teams have found their head coaches. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some updates on Miami finding their head coach, which bothers me a little bit. Just a little bit, but we'll talk about that first. Let's talk about the dominoes that have fallen. So the offensive coordinator for Green Bay, Nathaniel Hackett, is now the new Denver Broncos head coach, which means a lot of people thought that Dan Quinn was going to Denver. They went with Nathaniel Hackett going offense as their head coach. And then the Bears, some people thought Brian Flores, some people thought Dan Quinn, some people thought Jim Caldwell, went with the Colts defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but they went with the DC, and I'm pretty sure Justin Fields is real happy about that. So those are the first 2 head coaching signings that kind of fell the dominoes. And with a surprise, Dan Quinn decides, you know what, I'm just going to go back to Dallas. I'm going to stay their defensive coordinator, which means he does not want to be the Giants, nor the Dolphins, nor the Texans, nor the Vikings, nor now the Saints head coach. He decided, I'm going to go back with Dallas. So where does that leave Miami? What updates do I have for that? Well, coming from Ian Rappaport, he says the Dolphins plan to have second interviews early next week, source said, as they continue their search for a head coach despite the flurry of activity today. No rush in Miami. Among the names expected to receive second interviews from the Dolphins, Cowboys offensive coordinator Kalen Moore, 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel, and Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll. So those seem to be the 3 candidates that potentially are going to be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins, being that they're getting their second interviews. The only one on that list that I'm like, please God, no, God, please, no, God, is Kalen Moore. I don't want Kalen Moore. Also, is there a possibility of getting Jim Harbaugh still? Is there at all a possibility? Is that why they're waiting? And one last thing before I get into a little bit of a rant talking about why something bothers me. Cameron Wolf came out and said, one thing I've been told to watch whenever Dolphins officially hire their new coach, they want to keep most of their defensive assistant coaching staff. They feel they are close on that side of the ball and have spoken with candidates about that. So now I give you all the information I have. Now I'm going to talk about it. So the fact that they are waiting till next week to go into their second round of interviews bothers me, right? What are you doing this week? Why didn't you start doing it this week? Why aren't you doing your due diligence? I'm not saying rush the process, but I'm also not saying be lackadaisical, kind of sit back and let the process, fall around you. See, okay, well, the Bears and the Broncos signed their guy. Let's see what happens with the Giants and the Saints. Oh, they signed their guy. Okay, let's see what happens with the Texans and the Vikings. Oh, okay, they signed their guys. Now it's our turn. We have this YouTuber named DouglieDoWrong, and we have this other YouTuber, TD Fins Talk, and then there's this other YouTuber. I think we kind of screwed ourselves. I don't understand again, I'm not saying there should be a sense of urgency. Do your due diligence. Make sure you find the right guy. Make sure you find the right guy for the team. Make sure his, philosophy and thoughts on how he's going to build this team kind of coincide with Chris Greer, and you guys come to a mutual understanding and you can work together. Yes. But why aren't you doing that now? What is this week? What are you doing this week? Because I've said this, I think it's February 2nd or February 4th. I don't know where I wrote it down. I wrote it down in one of my notes. Is the Senior Bowl. It's coming up, and you want to have a head coach be in attendance for the Senior Bowl. It's the first weekend in February. It's next weekend. Is the Senior Bowl. And there's a possibility we don't have a head coach by then, because they're going through their second round of interviews next week. So that bothers me. I don't understand why not the sense of urgency. And again, you take Kalen Moore out there, I'm all right with Mike McDaniel. Brian Daboll, I'll pop up a tweet that I have. There is rumors that he will bring in Ken Dorsey as his OC. I hear a lot of pushback from why would he want to leave Ken Dorsey? Why would he want to leave Buffalo and Josh Allen to come here with, and again, most of the time it's because Tua might not even be the quarterback. We don't know. We don't know nothing. And then Don Martindale as his DC. Supposedly that's the rumor, OCDC, that he's going to bring in if it is Brian Daboll, which that's a very, very nice assistance you'd bring in there. Also, don't forget, Brian Daboll also was a defensive coordinator, not coordinator, but a defensive coach for the Patriots. Tony Soprano talked about that. If you go watch his press conference, I think it's on my Twitter. So those two I'm fine with, Mike McDaniel, Brian Daboll. And if somehow all of a sudden there's talks that, Stephen Ross is talking to Jim Harbaugh and that's the reason why they're pushing it back, I'll be even happier. Give me one of those three, I'm fine. Here's the other thing that bothers me, and Cameron Wolfe coming out and saying it, right, that they want to keep most of their defensive assistant coach staff. They feel they are close on that side of the ball and have spoken with candidates about that. So put it in this perspective, right? You're coming in and they want you to run the team. We want you to be the head coach of our team. Okay, cool. But you have to work with our quarterback. Okay, I can do that. And you have to work with the GM. Okay, and that's not a problem. And you have to keep the defense. But I don't like your defense. I think you could be better in a 4-3, especially with the type of defensive ends you have and the defensive tackles you have, would be better suited for a 4-3 and the linebackers and your safeties. I would prefer to switch over to a 4-3. Yeah, but we want you to use our defensive coordinators. All right. I also don't want to run RPO. I kind of want to run a more West Coast pro style. But that doesn't really fit Tua. And again, I'm not saying that this is what happens, but do you see what I'm saying? That doesn't fit Tua. We want you to work with Tua. So are you going to take this job? I wouldn't. You tell me I have to work with this quarterback, I have to work with your defense, and I have to work with a GM that I don't know much about, but you want me to be your head coach. No. You've given me nothing to work with. You're giving me no control over anything. I understand Brian Flores had too much control over his coaching staff and the 53-man roster, but that doesn't mean your next head coach gets nothing to control. We're going to give it all to Chris Grier, and you're gonna coach what Chris Grier gives you, because that's how it's going to work right now. You want to run a 4-3, too bad. Chris Grier thinks that this outside linebacker is really good, so you're going to stick with a 3-4. You're going to scare away so many potential head coaching candidates having all these stipulations to your job. They might come out and find the next Don Shula, the next Bill Belichick, the next Bill Walsh. They might come out and find the next great head coach, and we're set for the next 20 years. And I might look like a big idiot, and I'm overthinking it, and I'm overanalyzing it, and I'm worrying about nothing. But I do not like how they're going about this coaching search. It's just something about it bothers me. Whether it's their non, again, I don't care if they have a sense of urgency, but it's just like their sit back and wait attitude, their stipulations to these head coaches with Tua and the defense now, the non-pursuit of potential best candidates out there because you don't want to mess up your alma mater. It's like there's strikes, and they're already at let's see, not going for Jim Harbaugh because it hurts Michigan, strike one. Saying that the head coach, and again, Stephen Ross never said this. This was a source that said it. But saying that they want them to work with Tua. And again, I'm not saying this because I don't like Tua, but I don't like putting that stipulation on a head coach. That's strike two. Strike three is now waiting a week to do your second round of interviews. And strike four is now saying you want to keep the defense the same. Now, again, it doesn't mean that the defensive scheme is going to be the same, but the assistants, they want to keep the assistants because they feel they are close on that side of the ball. The defensive assistants got real close. Now, Alexander, the secondary's coach, I'd love to keep him. He's fantastic, and our secondary was really good. D-line coach, I I don't know if I'd keep him. Casey Rogers, one of the best D-line coaches we had. Yeah, we led the league in sacks, but not a lot of it came from just the defensive front. It came from like blitzes and stuff. Boyer, it seems like once Brian Flores had the thing in front of his face and calling plays, that's where all of a sudden the defense changed. So I don't know how much you're going to put into Boyer is going to do well. Linebackers didn't play great. So you're going to keep them because they're friends? See what I'm saying? It's like, I don't like the way this head coaching search is going. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I'm being a little bit of a pessimist right now. I understand that. You guys know my motto. I'd rather be surprised than let down. But it just, the way they're going about it, just I feel like they have somebody or they have something they want to do, and they're beating around the bush to do it. They're trying to scare away potential head coaching candidates with their stipulations. They're sitting back and waiting maybe for that one guy. But while you wait for that one guy, you might be losing out on potential others. They did that with going for Joe Philman and kind of poo-pooing Mike Tomlin, who's now a fantastic coach for the Steelers. See what I'm saying? This is what, like, back then I was like, oh, Joe Philman, Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers. Oh, that's good. He came. He sucked. And then Mike Tomlin goes and does. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, you sit back and wait, and then you let potential good candidates go to another team, and then you're like, well, this is the guy we wanted all along. Was so-and-so. Yeah, but look at the other guy now. You waited for him instead of giving this. I don't know. Comment below. Let me know if I'm being a pessimist. Let me know if I'm being Mr. Negative, which is rare. I try to not be too negative, but I don't know what it is. Something just feels like I don't know what they're doing. They're waiting a week. They have these stipulations for the head coaches. They're not going for some of the best candidates. Now, Brian Daboll is one of the best candidates out there, regardless if you think that it has to do with Josh Allen or what. Nationally, he is one of the best candidates, and they're also going for, an unsung hero and a dark horse candidate in Mike McDaniel. Kalen Moore, they should be like, do you think you should? Okay, goodbye. Don't even give him like an hour interview because, yes, his offense was great, but some of his play calling was horrific. But yeah, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I got videos planned. I'm going to still do my free agent stuff, cuts, re-signs, who we should be targeting, all that stuff. I'm going to do my fan reaction to the 2021 season like I do every year. It's like a Tom Grassi-esque thing. I'm going to react to the best of Mic'd Up from the Miami Dolphins. I have a lot of videos planned, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Other than that, guys, I'll probably see you tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. And if news breaks, you get it from me. If it's up.